Title update 1.1.2 or 2.20 or 1.012. Let's just get into it. Link down below as always if you want to read this shite on your own. The sizes are about 20 gigs on Series X and S. Xbox One 15 gigs, PS5 11 gigs, PS4 about 10 gigs, and PC 18 gigs. Yule Season, River Raids game mode. We added in-game support for the River Raids. Prepare your Jomsviking crew for this new highly replayable mode that will take you to unexplored regions of England, which is full of raiding opportunities. New loot, rewards, challenges await you for the Raven Clan. The River Raids mode is part of the Yule Season content. It is free for all Assassin's Creed Valhalla players, and it is accessible in-game after downloading Title Update 1.1.2. New abilities, Berserker Trap. This attaches a trap to your arrow, spreading hallucinatory powder. I need to go back to bed. Any nearby movement causes the trap to trigger. Surprise clueless passerby. Battle cry. In a fit of rage, Ivor lets out a blood-curdling scream, gaining strength and causing nearby enemies to stumble backwards in fear, interrupting their attacks. Shoulder bash. Ivor performs a shoulder bash that pushes back enemies and destroys objects. New skills, Assassin's Carry. Automatically carry a body after a successful assassination. Assassin Slide into enemies and knock them off balance while sprinting. Power Stroke. Trigger a speed boost on the long ship at the cost of stamina. Arrow Looter. Ivor has a greater chance of looting arrows from archers. Fight Ready. Always start a fight with an adrenaline-filled slot. Long Ship Brace. When you're in command of the long ship, the crew will raise their shield with you. Game improvements, miscellaneous. Runes and used resources to upgrade Berserker gear will be returned to the player inventory when an item is lost. Improved vibration feedback during fishing. Addressed an issue that caused players to leave disguise mode if players perform any attack while riding, or an issue that prevented players from catching fish in the sea or on coastlines, or an issue that caused school of fish to take a long time to respawn after one was caught. Items purchased at the Animus store will only be given to players after returning to England from Vinland. Change Predator Charge attack animations to give players a little more time to react. A lot of slow bastards out there. Addressed an issue that prevented fabric from being available. Added date of purchase to items listed in the owned section of the store. Balancing, remove diamond rune slots from gear set pieces other than torsos. Runes that were slotted into these will be returned to the player inventory. Interesting. Graphics, audio, and animation addressed various graphic and lighting issues, various texture issues, issues that caused explosion VFX to be missing. When oil jars explode, oil jars will now go boom. PS4, PS5, the must-spell warg mount will now burn with the fires of hell. Apparently only one L, so it's not that intense. The blood of your enemies will now soil all clothing. Addressed various character or NPC animation issues, addressed various clipping issues, and an issue that prevented visual effects of the Draugr set to be displayed. Addressed an issue that caused arrows to disappear from the quiver after re-equipping the bow from the inventory. It was probably like a little gnome on your back, and he was just like taking arrows and shit. He was plotting to assassinate you later. Quests, world events, and side activities. Addressed an issue in storming the walls preventing players from completing the quest. Gunnar has decided to join the festivities in the first night of Samhain, allowing players to complete the quest. Addressed an issue that allowed NPC in the Good Men of Sherwood World event to be killed. Jomsviking gear will now display their quality properly in the customization page. Addressed an issue that could cause the Jomsviking to change shapes and sizes in the menu when being recruited. Randvi is ready to hear the news after completing the Skyro Pasire arc, allowing completion of the Alliance. That was really annoying. Addressed, just like pronouncing that name was annoying. Addressed an issue that prevented players from interacting with Tove after having completed carrying the torch. or an issue that caused some dice to be reused when both players used God Favor, giving 3 additional dice. Addressed an issue with the fishmonger encounter that prevented the quest from being marked as complete after confirming the kill. Players will no longer be ashen if escaping before fighting the bard in the devil has all the best tunes. Players loading a save created after knocking in clues and riddles will now be able to complete the objective. Addressed an issue in extended family that caused the boss not to deal any damage during underground attacks, or an issue in extended family that caused the boss to get stuck near walls, stay underground, and not engage in combat altogether, or an issue that prevented the final order member to be revealed. That was okay. An issue in Binding Fate that prevented players from completing the boss encounter as the boss may get stuck underground has been addressed. Or an issue in Binding Fate that prevented players from completing the quest after talking to Tyr. Or an issue in the War Weary that prevented players from completing the quest after having defeated all NPCs outside. Or an issue that caused all Order members to be killed after killing a Zealot. This may just be the wildest issue ever seen. Yeah. Addressed an issue in the Big Finish that prevented players from completing the quest when the hideout was visited before starting the quest. Or an issue in Blood from a Stone that prevented players from moving a stack of cargo. Or an issue in the Prodigal Prince that caused the objective to remain stuck if Ivor assassinates the first training dummy before reaching the checkpoint. Or an issue that prevented players from interacting with Godfred Fairrobes post-fight if the players threw them in the river. Or an issue in the Twit Saga Part 1 where the house would sometimes not catch fire, preventing players from completing the world event. I had that. Addressed an issue in the Degalus the Beautiful that caused the kid to grow in size. That was weird. Or an issue in the Degalus the Beautiful that prevented Degalus from leaving the water. Well, that's because he was too big, so he was too fat to move and he drowned. Addressed an issue that prevented players from interacting with settlement NPCs. Or an issue in Crushed Dreams that prevented players from completing the world event as the wife is in a dead state. Well, hence why your dreams were crushed. Addressed an issue that caused the world map to become unavailable after speaking to Seawolf, so don't speak to him. Gameplay, combat, and AI. Addressed several NPC behavior issues. Mounts will heed Ivor's call from a quick action wheel, or an issue that caused NPCs to die before they're being hit. Addressed an issue that caused Ivor to end up standing on their toes after being idle for a while. He was practicing ballet. Addressed an issue that caused decorative elements to spawn in miniature form. Sorry, I just got this weird mental image of Ivor doing like a pirouette or whatever the hell those little things they do in ballet there. Anyways, addressed an issue that allowed players to obtain Nodin's Arc using save load actions. Audio, PS4 addressed an issue that caused crackling sounds to be heard, or an issue that caused dead swarm animals to make idle sounds. Photo mode addressed an issue that caused photo mode frames not to scale to game window size, or an issue that caused terrain rendering issues when moving the camera. User interface / HUD. Various UI HUD issues have been addressed, and an issue that caused premium start pack items to appear in fine instead of mythic quality. After encountering Cola, you ended up, getting a Pepsi. No, that didn't make any sense. After encountering Cola, their appropriate icon will be shown on the Order tab. Or an issue that caused acquired Reddit contracts to appear under the Sent quest log section, or an issue that caused contracts not to count towards the Viking for higher progression, or an issue that prevented players from interacting with any items in Reddit's shop when focused navigation is enabled. Players will be able to switch targets with the mouse wheel by using M and K. Addressed an issue that was causing stick input to stick after enabling swap sticks option during turns, or an issue that caused the call out prompt to appear every time when whistle is used to attract enemies, or an issue when pressing the D-pad down causing daily concept art to remain, or an issue that caused several daily concept art to be displayed on the world map, or an issue that caused the mouse cursor not to be displayed when switching back to mouse and keyboard after controller was used as single source. That was your punishment for using a controller. You gotta stick to mouse and keyboard. That's the whole point of being on PC. Just an issue that prevented Order of Ancient icons not to change based on selected colorblind settings. Addressed an issue that caused control conflicts in photo mode if swap sticks option is set to on, or an issue that caused a slider value of subtitle backgrounds not to reset to the default value, or an issue that caused exploration difficulty to be reset to adventure instead of explorer when resetting to default, or an issue that prevented the adrenaline bar from filling after the second assassination was performed using chain assassinations, added a quit fishing button during aiming state, addressed various instances where Odin's sight highlighted props that it shouldn't, or an issue that caused data corrupt errors after entering the save menu, or an issue that prevented the ingot that was looted off the destroyer, Hapton blockade not to be counted towards wealth completion, addressed an issue that caused Flyagar mysteries not to be highlighted with the appropriate mystery icon. Then we've got system. There's a lot of patch notes here. PC addressed issues with various Ubisoft Connect achievements that were not unlocking correctly when conditions were met. Take My Hand, The Enemy of My Enemy, Disorder of the Ancients, Completionist All the Way. PC addressed an issue with the unlock condition of the Equine Attack achievement, or addressed an issue that caused online service errors to be displayed when creating or hovering over photos, addressed an issue causing the game to remain stuck during loading after entering the save/load menu, addressed an issue that caused the MSI voice command feature to stop working after a save/load. Performance and stability. Improved performance and stability. That's it. So if you liked the video, as always, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. It greatly helps support the channel with the algorithm and making me more relevant in the search results when people are looking things up on the internet. If you didn't like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. Not only am I going to break it off in your ass, as always, I'll make sure the next time you're with your lady friend, you're having a little bit of a performance and stability issue, and she tells you that you need to improve, and you have to rely on Ubisoft to patch you up. We all know how well that's going to go. But if you want to subscribe to the channel, maybe we can work something out. If not, that's on you. For the rest of you, thanks for stopping by. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next video. Bye for now.